Roadside Horrors, Tales After Dark. The night was still, and the moon shone brightly, casting a silvery glow on the deserted highway. Sam and Hanna, a newly married couple, embarked on a long night drive to celebrate their honeymoon. The open road seemed inviting, promising endless possibilities for their new life together. As they drove deeper into the countryside, the scenery outside became more desolate, with vast fields stretching into the distance. The rhythmic hum of the car's engine provided a soothing soundtrack to their journey, and they chatted happily, excited about the adventures that lay ahead. However, their serenity was short-lived. Just as they passed an abandoned gas station, the car sputtered and came to a sudden stop. Sam frowned, trying to restart the engine, but it remained unresponsive. Hannah's heart raced as she glanced around, realizing they were in the middle of nowhere with no sign of civilization in sight. "We must have run out of gas," Sam said, frustration evident in his voice. "What do we do now?" Hanna asked, feeling a wave of anxiety wash over her. Sam took a deep breath, trying to remain calm. "I'll check the trunk for a spare can of gas." "Stay here." As Sam walked to the rear of the car, Hannah's eyes scanned the dark surroundings, feeling an eerie sense of unease. Suddenly, she noticed a faint light in the distance, flickering like a dying ember. "Sam, I see something over there," she called out, her voice trembling. Sam looked in the direction Hanna pointed and squinted. "I don't see anything," he replied. But as they stood there, the flickering light grew closer and more distinct. Soon, they saw figures emerging from the shadows, their silhouettes outlined by the eerie glow of a lantern. Fear gnawed at Hannah's heart as the strangers approached, their faces obscured in the darkness. She clung to Sam, who instinctively positioned himself between her and the unknown visitors. The group finally reached them, and Sam forced a smile, trying to maintain a friendly demeanor. "Hi there. We seem to have run out of gas. Can you help us out?" The strangers exchanged glances, and Hanna couldn't shake the feeling that something was off about them. The leader, a tall man with a menacing grin, stepped forward. "Looks like you two are in quite a predicament," he said, his voice dripping with false sympathy. "Is there a gas station nearby?" Hanna asked, trying to keep her voice steady. The man chuckled, a sound that sent shivers down Hannah's spine. "Afraid not, my dear. You see, you're in the territory of the flesh-eating men, and you've stumbled upon our little hunting ground." Hannah's blood ran cold as the man's words sank in. The name alone sent a chill down her spine, and she felt her legs wobble beneath her. What do you want from us?" she stammered, trying to muster the courage to stand tall. The man's grin widened, revealing yellow, rotten teeth. "Oh, we're simple folks, really. We just want a little something to eat. And you two look like a fine meal for a long, cold night." Horror washed over Hanna as she realized the true intentions of these deranged individuals. They were not here to help, they were here to kill and consume. "We'll do whatever you want," Sam said, his voice shaking with a mix of fear and desperation. "Just let us go, please." The man laughed again, a sound that made Hannah's skin crawl. "Oh, we'll let you go, all right. But not before we've had our fill." Hannah's mind raced, trying to think of a way out of this nightmare. Then, an idea struck her. She remembered reading about survival tactics in case of emergencies. Perhaps she could appeal to their humanity, if they had any left. "Wait," she said, her voice trembling but determined. We can help you find food. There's a small town not too far from here. We can drive there and bring you whatever you need." The man raised an eyebrow, intrigued by Hanna's offer. "And why would you help us?" "Because we don't want any trouble. We just want to get out of here alive," Sam pleaded. Hanna glanced at Sam, silently urging him to go along with her plan. He nodded, understanding her strategy. The man considered their words for a moment before nodding. "All right, fine. But remember, if you try anything funny, you won't live to regret it." Hanna's heart pounded as they were given a reprieve. She quickly grabbed the car keys from Sam and walked around to the driver's side. The leader of the flesh-eating men, still clutching his axe, followed closely behind them. As they got into the car, Hanna's mind raced. She had to think fast and find a way to outsmart these ruthless predators. "I'll drive," she said, putting on a brave front. Sam nodded, understanding her plan. They started the car, and Hanna slowly began to drive away. The man with the axe sat in the back seat, his eyes fixed on their every move. As they drove, Hanna desperately tried to come up with a plan. She knew they couldn't just drive to the nearby town and bring back help. The flesh-eating men would never let them return. They needed to find a way to escape without arousing suspicion. A few minutes passed, and the town was no longer in sight. Hanna's heart sank as she realized they were venturing deeper into the wilderness. Panic threatened to overwhelm her, but she couldn't let fear cloud her judgment. Suddenly, an idea struck her. "Sam, remember the camping gear in the trunk?" Sam looked puzzled but nodded. "Yes, what about it?" "I have an idea," Hanna said, her voice filled with determination. She continued driving until she found a deserted spot by the side of the road. Then, she pretended that the car had broken down again. "I think the engine just died," she said, feigning concern. The man with the axe grunted, and Hanna could sense his annoyance. With the car parked at the side of the road, Hanna pretended to fumble with the engine, hoping to buy time. The leader of the flesh-eating men grew impatient, his grip on the axe tightening. "What's taking so long?" "Get it fixed," he demanded, his voice tinged with menace. "I'm trying, but I think it's serious," Hanna replied, trying to keep her voice steady. As she continued to stall, Sam discreetly grabbed the camping gear from the trunk. He signaled to Hanna that he was ready to make their move. "Look, we're really sorry for the trouble. How about this? We'll walk back to that town and bring back some food for you. We won't try to escape. Just give us a chance to make things right," Sam said, playing along with Hanna's plan. The leader of the flesh-eating men considered their offer, eyeing them suspiciously. Hanna could feel the weight of his gaze, and she knew that their lives hung in the balance. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the man nodded. "All right, but if you're lying, I'll find you, and there won't be any mercy." Hanna and Sam stepped out of the car, grateful for the chance to escape with their lives. They walked away from the car, leaving the camping gear behind as a distraction. Once they were a safe distance away, they broke into a sprint, disappearing into the darkness. Behind them, the leader of the flesh-eating men approached the car, his eyes fixed on the camping gear. He smirked, convinced that he had outsmarted the naive couple. However, as he reached for the gear, a loud noise echoed through the night. A powerful explosion erupted from the car, sending fiery debris flying in all directions. The camping gear had been rigged to explode, and the flesh-eating men had fallen into the trap. In shock and confusion, the remaining members of the group scattered, fleeing into the darkness. The night was filled with chaos as the car burned, lighting up the night sky with an inferno of revenge. Hanna and Sam watched from a safe distance, their hearts still racing from the adrenaline. They had managed to outsmart the flesh-eating men and escape the clutches of death. As the embers of the fire died down, they knew they couldn't stay there any longer. They needed to find help and put as much distance between them and the horrors they had encountered. With the first light of dawn, they came across a small town. Exhausted and traumatized, they sought refuge in the local police station and shared their harrowing tale with the authorities. The police launched an investigation, and with the information provided by Sam and Hanna, they were able to apprehend some of the flesh-eating men. The rest remained elusive, but they knew they could never return to the area again. Months passed, and Sam and Hanna slowly began to heal from their ordeal. They moved to a new city, trying to put the nightmare behind them. The memories still haunted them, but they found solace in each other's love and support. As time went on, they became advocates for safety awareness, sharing their story to warn others about the dangers that lurked in the darkness. They knew they had survived the unspeakable horrors of that night, but they also knew that others might not be as fortunate. And so, Roadside Horrors, Tales After Dark became more than just a story of survival. It became a cautionary tale of the darkness that could hide just beyond the reach of the headlights. Sam and Hanna vowed never to forget the night that had changed their lives forever and to cherish every moment they had together. They knew that the road ahead might still hold its share of terrors, but they faced it together, stronger than ever before.